Hey guys, sorry I'm a little late here. I don't know if anybody's joined. No, nobody has joined. I think I can see that in the panel here. I'm still going to set up. Oh, cool. We got a couple people here. Sorry we're getting a little later start than I intended. It was about 10 minutes late or so. Just been streaming for about 2 minutes here. So I'm working on getting my camera set up. Here's my little arm bracket and stuff here. We'll start working on the console momentarily. Um, cool. Chat's working. There we go. Let's see. Let me move this up. All right. Let's see about camera setup. Do, 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 do. How's the audio for my voice in all of this? Is it pretty decent? I'm actually just using the microphone out of the webcam because there's no other background noise in this room. I've got it completely to myself. It sounded pretty decent to me when I played it back the first time, but I'd be curious to know what you guys think. If I need to, I can certainly switch to a headset mic, which I have. What's going on in this live stream? So, the first thing that we're going to do is a repair for a console that was sent in that has a bad NAND flash. And then I will do an RGH on at least one console. Kind of depends on how things go and stuff here, I guess. Um, Man, camera's always a struggle to set up. Sorry, guys. I could pause the video or here. I'll navigate away from it so you guys don't have to see shaky cam while I'm doing it. Oh, pain in the butt. It's kind of necessary. Let's get some hype in chat. Hype, okay. Cool, I guess. Sorry, I'm not quite as organized about this as maybe I was with some of them in the past, where I started with some content immediately. So, my bad on that one, I guess, guys. Man, this camera is being a giant pain in the dick. There we go. Almost. Okay, finally got... There we go. Let's switch back to this now. Need to go a little further this way. Fat RGH Jasper 1.2. Okay, so there's one vote. And I do have a Jasper on hand we could totally do that with. So, absolutely possible. So here's the console. Let me lean over here for a second. Oh, let me make my mug smaller. You guys don't want to see me. You want to see what I'm doing. Here is the console that we're going to be doing the repair on first. It's a fat console that is a... If we look at this power socket, can we capture it? It's a Falcon, if you can see that power socket. And it was sent in because, according to the owner, it has been bricked. So they were trying to do a NAND update, and they didn't do it correctly. And, now the console won't boot. So I'm going to boot the console here and check on... Okay. I'm going to check on whether or not that's true, first of all. So, enable my multi-monitor setup. Sorry, I probably wiggled around my face cam there. What's the difference between a developer console and a regular console? So a dev console can connect to Xbox Live's internal private Xbox Live thing that they have for testers and developers and whatever. And they can run unsigned code just like a JTAG or RGH. Otherwise, I'm not exactly sure what the benefits are. I've never made an effort to have a unsigned console or a dev console or anything. So if we can press the button on this guy's where he's got his LED thing in backwards. Man, did it turn the light on my power brick red? Let's see. No, so the console's not. It just doesn't want to start up. So, here I'll show you what I'm talking about. This particular console, the owner decided to put the ring of light LED little plastic thing on backwards. So normally this is supposed to be up and give you access to the button, but only thing that we can access there is the little LED. So we need to finish taking this thing apart. Oh, my camera's pointed at the ceiling. Sorry, guys. There we go. Have I ever failed RGHing a console? Yeah, totally. I absolutely have. When I very first started out in 2011, I think I ruined one Jasper and then one 4 gigabyte Corona that I didn't ruin entirely. I ended up having this, I sent it off to somebody who specialized in trace repair because I had damaged the traces. That was kind of when I was starting out and still learning quite a bit on soldering techniques and stuff. So I definitely messed that up. So for those of you that are waiting here, I'm just breaking the case off of this console. I apologize that I don't have something set up better to capture this work so that you could see it. All right, here we go. So here's the underside of our fat console. We only have to take out the upper, the long screws in this particular case. So What type of soldering iron do I use? I use a Hakko. I think the model number is 98D. I think that's right. It's a digital ceramic heated controllable soldering iron, and it's really nice. It's cheap. They're a little less than $100 full retail. What we're doing right now is we're going to be reflashing the NAND on this console that won't even boot. So here you can see this is actually a previous install of mine. Well, maybe not. There's a lot of additional hot glue that looks like it's been partially removed. Maybe this was an install I did and somebody came in and partially removed or added some hot glue and stuff there. I don't know. Hey, I asked earlier, thanks Niels Woods for the positive comment. I asked earlier what you guys thought about my audio quality. Is it pretty good? Could I get a response in the chat from a couple people? Is you hearing me pretty good, or is it pretty clear? So now I'm going to go ahead and reconnect my power, reconnect my HDMI, and now that I can access my power button, I'm going to try to power it on and just get absolutely nothing. Wow. So he wasn't kidding about it being bricked. Bam. All right. Cool. There we go. So, since we kind of got confirmation that obviously something is up here, I'm going to pop open the console. Good, fine, 100%. Yeah, it's clear. Cool. Glad. Thanks, guys. Pop it open, and we're going to solder into the header here. Yeah, somebody else has been in this thing, because there's no way I would have left these points in this sort of condition. They're got flux all over them and poorly done and stuff. So let's make sure that I have a NAND for this console. See if I did it. Let me fire up my JRunner and do a search. Have I ever done a case mod? Yeah, if you look way back in my old videos, I did a pretty badass Superman console one time where I texture painted the whole case blue, and then I did an LED cutout with a red, like, glowing glass, and then put the Superman logo printed in vinyl, like as a sticker on top of the cutout, and it was pretty neat looking. All right, so we're applying some solder flux here to the NAND points. I'm gonna find my Nandex installation wires here, and I'm going to solder this thing in, and we're gonna reflash the NAND back to working, hopefully. Alright, so here's my solder. First things first, I'm gonna just pre-tin my my spots and get everything ready to accept the connections, because what's left in here is not like ideal. There we go. Oh, how many JTAGs have I sold? A few hundred, I think, is probably the closest number to accurate that I could give you. I think last time somebody asked me how many RGHs I've done, and we counted like 500 in the last year or something like that. And, how many JTAGs, not RGHs? Like, well, that number's way smaller. 25 or 30 out of the multiple hundreds and whatever. I got into JTAG and RGH as RGH came on the scene, so JTAG was all mostly patched. The dashboard was patched at that point. So I've never really been into this at a time where you could easily obtain JTAGable consoles, meaning like they had that dashboard was already old at the point. I basically started with RGH. I have only done a few JTAGs as I've stumbled across consoles that were JTAGable, but for the most part, I've only had very few of those in my time. So Death Wizard says the same thing happened to me when I turn it on. The power brick turns red. So my power brick never turned red with this particular one, and the power brick turning red is an indication of kind of some bigger problems than the console just not turning on. So this one, my power brick's still green, and it's fine. It just probably has a NAND written to it here that is no bueno. Yeah, sorry, TY guy asked the question again. I was thinking of buying an RGH, and is the Jasper... Jaspers are good. They're the last model of FAT that was produced. So they are the most reliable of the FATs, but they are still a FAT console. So they still have kind of the overall design issue that allows the overheating to be such a problem. If you treat them good, you blow them out with some air fairly frequently, you maybe run your fan speed increased a little bit, that totally gives you a decent chance of having a nice long life out of a Jasper. But I don't want to lie to you. You could totally buy a Jasper and 3 months later it could red ring on you. It does happen. It's not as frequent, but don't listen to anybody that tells you it doesn't happen, because they're probably trying to sell you something, and that's bullshit. So, I mean, just bottom line. XEX Legends. Oh, is this your console? Is that why you keep talking like you're stating facts, which might make sense? It has the retail NAND on it. So, the retail NAND, I would expect to at least attempt to power on. So what's on here can't be just the plain old stock retail nothing else NAND. Because it would attempt to turn on. It wouldn't boot because the glitch chip's in here, but it would at least attempt to turn on. Alright. What RGH do I recommend? If you're looking to kind of guarantee longevity, Trinities and Coronas, the Slims, are just far and away your best bet. So, certainly would consider those the creme de la creme of that. Let me see if I can add... Probably not a safe way to add this console output rather than so I don't show his serial number and stuff on live stream. I don't know that that's an issue, but some people seem to be worried about it. So 5. There we go. So what I was doing there, just to be clear with everybody, is I was reading the serial number off of the front of the console and typing it into a search on my computer, where I'm pulling up the most recent NAND backup that I have for this particular serial number, and I'm going to build a current NAND off of that and then write it to the console. What's the question? What chip? XEX Winter asks what chip? What chip for what? Weekend monitor. I opened my Xbox. Yeah. I try to make an effort to keep the wiring clean and neat and organized. I mean, maybe some people accuse me of going a little crazy with the hot glue, but my experience with the shipping. Am I going to sell JR Programmer V2s? No, I'm not going to sell JR Programmer V2s. That brings up a good point. Something I want to share with you guys, I guess, while I'm doing this software stuff, is the website store.weekendmodder.com. I just added a new section to that is a repair services section. And in the repair services section, I've added 2 different repair services. One that is a basic brick repair, and the second one which is an advanced brick repair, and you get a Nandex included in that. So I just want to make everybody aware that what that means is how I've soldered in the wire here. I would lay them flat, solder them in, and maybe even tuck it out so that it would come out the side of the console and be accessible without even having to take the console apart this far. But right now, my only offerings are no programmer or a Nandex programmer, which is kind of expensive. I'm looking at getting some Matrix programmers, which are only like $10 a piece, and offer that as a service too. So if you send your console, I'll permanently install the wires necessary for that, and then you would be able to easily reprogram your NAND if you needed to. All right, so I'm loading up my program here, or XEX or XE build GUI, in order to generate a new NAND, which I just did, and now I am officially writing that NAND back to this console. You saw the brick repair, but I thought that was unfixable. Let me go back up to XEX Winter. Nah, gold. What was the last stuff that you said? Like Trinity. What are you saying here? What I meant by shipping. Bad luck, Seppi. I read the FAQs and was wondering what you meant about shipping. I'm not sure what you mean by about shipping. That my return shipping, that part is kind of, you pay to ship to me, and then I ship the console back to you included in the price. Oh Lord, the weekday modder. Oh, I can put you in timeout. Yeah, you go to timeout. Do I sell games with the RGH? That's a good question. Absolutely not. I just can't risk being accused of or involved with any sort of piracy. This is a ridiculous question, but does GameStop/EB Games sell RGH and JTAG? No way. Death Wizard, what? I don't know what you're saying. How did they actually fix the JTAG? JTAG was taking advantage of a software exploit. Bad luck, Zeppi. No, I don't ship to the UK. Sorry. Back to the question. How did they fix the JTAG? It was a software exploit, so they were able to patch it in software. That's why RGH has been unpatchable so far, because it takes advantage of a hardware exploit. There was some hardware involved in the process of doing a JTAG. You had to solder some wires and stuff, but the initial exploit that allowed it to continue happening was software related. All right, so now we've successfully written that NAND file back to this console, and I'm just going to go ahead and boot it here and just validate that it boots up. So we just got one glitch cycle, and then there was an instant boot, RGH 1.2. We would kind of come to expect that. And then if I pan up to my screen over here, you'll be able to see that it boots up. There we go. And then if I just, to demonstrate, let me see if I can do this. Pan all the way over to, oh, damn it. I'm looking at it on a delay. System, settings, 17502, very latest dash. So there we go. Console has been successfully unbricked. And as you can see, that required soldering in the programmer and then reflashing the NAND. Yeah, well, the weekday modder is in timeout for 5 minutes. That's what the software automatically does. I don't know how to let him out of timeout earlier, so he can wait 5 minutes. Hold on, let me scroll up here. Do I ship to the UK? Okay, I answered that. What if we send the games with the Xbox and pay you to install them? So if you sent no, just no. Why? I don't need to do that. If you own the game, then just install it when you get the console back. No big deal. Put the disc in the tray and rip it. I'm just install RGH and gets more customers. No, I'm sorry, Joey. I appreciate the suggestion, but I'm just not going to do it. Bad luck, Zeppi. No, I don't ship internationally at all right now. So you know that they are ours. Henry, what did you say? What if we send the games and pay you to install them so I know that oh, okay. I get that you're trying to prove ownership of the games in that scenario, that you're trying to prove that hey, I do legally own these games. But at that point, if you legally own them, you have them in your possession. Just install them yourself. It's just not something I want to get involved in. How do you put wires on a needle for you to solder on the Xbox points? I just wrapped it and then soldered them. Just a stranded wire connected to it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the wires that we soldered in here. And this console will be done, unbricked. I probably should plug it in with his hard drive and boot it one more time because he probably still has some old Dash Launch plugins that I will need to assist likely with bypassing. I would bet that if I sent this console back without doing that for the person, maybe not every person, but a lot of people would reply and follow up with, well, it still won't boot because it gets to the 360 logo and then it crashes. And they wouldn't necessarily know how. And I'm not saying that about this specific customer, but if it did that, so it just pays for me to go ahead and take care of that. Okay, I'm sure you guys are getting blown out. That was my phone ringing. That was my work calling, and technically I'm on call right now, so I'm going to have to, unfortunately, in the live stream early here, I'm going to have to call them back. If I get the opportunity, I will. Are you going to do RGH on this live stream? Yes, that was my intention. I'm going to have to pause. I'll come back to it. So I will come back online if I can, guys. I'm sorry, but I have to go right this moment. So sorry, I apologize. That comes with the territory of my job. I have an on-call schedule.